taken the 3 points, and this is what it means for Group D after the first couple of matches today. Spain and Italy level on points. Spain with the better goal difference. Albania and Croatia yet to get off the mark. And I suppose I did refer to this group as a group of death, but I think after seeing that match, Diddy, you can understand why, for other reasons, why it might be called a group of death, because I know you found that fairly painful viewing. But was it not a case of Italy just easing themselves into the competition?
That second half, Peter, was a half of death. That was one of the worst halves I've seen in a tournament in a long time. The lads said in commentary, petered out towards the end. I felt they petered out after they kicked off for the second half, because the Italians were happy with a 2-1, and the Albanians were happy if they keep it at 2-1, because they knew if we get one more chance, a corner, free kick, we've got a chance to get a draw. So they just neutralised each other. Poor game. Both probably got the result. Italy wins the game. Albania, yes, it did okay in the second half, but was a bit disappointing, especially in the first half. Being gifted a goal and then to concede 2 such easy goals. I can't see them getting out of the group now, Albania. I don't think they stand a chance in the group. As for Italy, I don't think we found anything out. We didn't know before, but if the atmosphere on the ground is an indicator about a game or the quality of the game, this is Albania. They've been in the first tournament for ages, and the atmosphere was non-existent. And don't blame either side for it, but it wasn't pleasant to watch.
Kevin, was it as agonising an experience for you, particularly the second half?
I think Diddy summed that up pretty well there. I'm surprised Italy took their foot off it so much. They treated that second half just like a friendly game, like a training session. Such a lack of intensity. It was only 2-1. It felt like it was more than 2-1. With the chances they created in the first half, it should have been more than 2-1. But as you see, right up there, up to the last couple of minutes, Albania actually very close to scoring. Donnarumma actually made a great save. It was a great ball out. I think it was Minaj who come off the bench. Great first touch, and Donnarumma actually, the ref didn't see it. It should have been a corner, but he made a great save. It probably would have gone in. So dangerous game from them to play. They seem very cool, relaxed, comfortable. But at 2-1, it never is. As poor as Albania were in the first half, they weren't actually as poor in the second half. They actually were a bit braver. In the first half, we're talking about they were playing 4-3-3, and their front 2 wide men of that 3 ended up just left and right back and just sat back and invited everything on. In the second half, they changed that, and their wide men pushed higher up the pitch and made their fullbacks actually defend instead of coming back and doing the fullbacks' work. The wide men got up the pitch a bit, and it helped them. Still didn't create anything until that 88th minute. I think we have that one chance from Albania. We're talking about, maybe they were happy just to not concede more than the 2, because it looked like it could be 4-5, and it still gives them a chance. Maybe they think they can pick something up against Croatia, maybe get a win there and get them through on goal difference, because they said the 3 teams can go through in a number of groups. So maybe in the back of their mind, that's the way Albania were thinking. Listen, if we go for this and try to get the equaliser, Italy will come out and sting us for another goal or 2.
Yeah, I know there's some that might suggest that of all the nations, of all the top nations, that Italy would be probably the most comfortable playing in a situation like that, 2-1 up and controlling the game. But Diddy, when you consider that they created some decent chances in the second half, or in the first half, I should say, when they were 2-1 up, it's surprising that they didn't push on in the second half.
Yeah, well, in a way you can't fault him, because obviously when you're winning 2-1, the aim is not to concede. You don't concede, you win the game. So I don't blame him. But as Kevin said, it's a dangerous game to play, because at 2-1, the opposition is always in the game. And for an opponent that didn't offer any threat whatsoever going forward, apart from one chance in the last minute, you have to create. If you don't take the chances, fair enough. You can't score every chance, but at least you have to create 2, 3, 4 goal-scoring opportunities. And I think we struggled to find one in the second half. I think it was a shot from Di Marco.
A couple of speculative shots.
And they'll be going home now. Spalletti will be saying, job done, potential banana skin. We know how tricky these first games can be. But I still expected a little bit more going forward. They've got the players, they made a few changes. But to hardly create or not create a goal-scoring opportunity against one of the smallest nations, probably one of the worst teams in the competition, they've done brilliant to get there. It's probably the end of the road now. But not to not create, I felt was a bit disappointing.
Kevin, we have seen some of the football superpowers like Italy and Germany work their way into tournaments over the years. But should Italian fans have a few more concerns considering that performance tonight? That it may not be a case of, OK, they haven't hit the ground running, really, against a pretty poor team, that they should expect a little bit more in the opening match.
Listen, they all look pretty happy. They were being subbed off to everyone's high-five and everyone's, clapping each other on the back. And going back to the previous Euros that they won, it was very similar, their performances. Every game was won by one goal. A couple won on penalties, including the final, and, that was how they played. They didn't use up a whole lot of energy tonight. They never got out of second gear. So from that point of view, it's great for them. They're going, game again in 4 days. They'll be fresher than other teams, fresher than... I'm not sure, they do play Spain next?
Yes.
They play Spain next. Spain had to put more into their game today than Italy did. Italy never had to get going in that game. It was just a possession game for them, a training session, really. And they played a dangerous game in treating it like that and treating that second half like that, but it worked out for them.
OK, so Italy have beaten Albania by 2-1 in a less than inspiring performance, but they are up and running in the competition. We have a couple of opportunities, to have a look at from that second half, but this was all Italy produced.
We haven't got 2 opportunities, we've got 2 shots, Peter. I don't want to sell the viewers, this is chances. Here they lose the ball again in the box, and then the ball comes to Chiesa. I think the keeper probably had it covered. And this is Di Marco, who's obviously had the worst possible start to the tournament.
Yeah.
I think he calmed down after that. I think he did OK till he came off. It's a shot from 20 yards. Spalletti, I'm not sure what he's saying. Probably says go back because we were winning 2-1. Yeah, that was all it was. And after that performance, have they got less chance of going deep in the tournament or winning it? No, I don't think they have. Because, as Kevin said, that's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. It doesn't matter whether they play Brazil or Germany or anyone. England, if they're winning by 1 goal, they shut up shop. They don't concede or try not to concede. They've got to be fortunate in the end. If they get another one, great. And if not, they're going to see the game out. And that's what they do. Be fortunate towards the end. It worked out. But, still, I think going forward, obviously, bigger tests to come. Croatia and Spain to come. I think they've got to play better. I'm not saying they can't, but they have to perform better, and especially going forward, they've got to do more. They've got to test the defence of the opposition more than they did tonight. Yeah,
you'd be familiar with a lot of the foreign press. How do you think something like Gazzetta dello Sport will react to a performance like that? Would the team even care? Would the management even care if they get slaughtered tomorrow? I don't think they will. Because this is a team that qualified as winners. They left Poland and the Czech Republic behind them. And you've got to give them respect. And it was the first game in a long time, the first game for all these players in a major tournament. So nerves might have played a part for Albania. But you didn't rate their performance, did you? Yeah, no. I think they made it too easy in the first half. And obviously they played into Italy's hands, because when the first goal went in after 20 seconds, I thought this could be a tricky game now for Italy, because that's exactly the situation they don't want. They want to react. They don't want to be proactive. They're not a team that creates a hatful of chances, especially against a team that's defending very deep. Yes. They like to sit back, they like to play on the counter-attack, and they want to see what the opposition does, and then they react. So after that goal went in, they had to be proactive. And you've got to give them credit. They did well. They did. Obviously, as I said, Albania probably made it a little bit easier than they should have done. But I don't think... Well, the players don't care. Well, I know that from my own experience, the manager won't care. And I don't think the Italian press will be too harsh, because it's a decent start into the tournament. But there's bigger tests to come now. There certainly are. Kevin, you mentioned that it was a risky ploy for Italy to employ. Just knocking it around, because there was always the chance that Albania could hit them on the counter, because that's the way they play. And they had a late chance. They took their time. Their first effort, I think it's Jetty, left centre half, plays a great ball. Minaj had just come on off the bench. Fabulous first touch. And actually, it's a really good save from Donnarumma, because I do think this was going in. Calafiori just gets done over the top. First touch was great, and then Donnarumma saves it. You see from his reaction, actually, afterwards, Donnarumma's up, jumping around, fist pumping, and how the ref doesn't give a much-needed corner to Albania, I don't know. But listen, that's the risk you take. As poor as Albania were, that was actually a nice
bit of football, a great ball over the top. They didn't do it enough times.
Yeah.
They tried everything short. They didn't play any balls in behind. They didn't stretch Italy at all and get them turned. Everything short and getting cut out. But, you know, it happens in football. One thing like that, you see from the first goal they got in the game, it was just a mistake from Italy, and that can happen in football. And that's the risk Italy take, but they're so comfortable taking that risk. They don't seem to mind. And against that team tonight, it was probably safe to try it, because Albania offered nothing going forward. They were overprotective. Once they got that lead in the first 30 seconds, they were so protective. The wingers became fullbacks. Their fullbacks tucked in and didn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
You know, it made the situation a lot worse for themselves. They changed it in the second half, as I said, and were better because of it. But it was gone too late at that stage.
OK, we've been negative enough about Italy for the moment. We have to acknowledge, as you did, Diddy, you know, how they responded to the early goal. But let's have a look at that goal, because it really was a starting start to the match from an Italian point of view. Albania getting this early lead.
Yeah, they go long, overhit ball, they get a throw in, and then obviously they do close them down. They never did it. They only did it in the first minute. They never did it after that for whatever reason. Yeah, we've got 6 players in shot. Midfielder says, "Come on, squeeze up." We keep him in there. He's got no options here, and then he throws that ball to Bastoni, and it just held up, because I said that at half time. I think he might have thought, or maybe they did water the pitch. Maybe he just found a dry spot on the pitch where it landed, because the defender Bastoni never made any intention to go towards the ball if he spotted the danger, because he thought the ball's going to get there. It did, as we saw, and yeah, it's a very good finish.
Yeah, but Bastoni then made amends, because in fairness, Italy did respond and they really put the pressure on. And OK, it comes from a set piece, Kevin, but it was a well-taken goal.
Yeah, no, it was a really good 45 minutes actually from Italy. Great ball in. Yeah. And Bastoni back, listen, it's the simplest header he'll ever have in his life. The winger for Albania is outside him, marking no one. I think there's zonal marking anyway, and he just gets a free header. Very soon after, you know, you thought when they want 1-0 up Albania that Italy would find it really tough to break them down, and they'd be defensively strong, because that's how they were in the group stage. Albania, they didn't. They got that goal pretty soon afterwards. Should have had more in that. More than just the 2 in that first half.
I think that's a disappointing thing for Albania, because to concede a goal, you can train these things. Obviously, you can't avoid conceding goals, because that happens, because mistakes happen, goals happen. But so shortly after going ahead, you've been given a chance, and when you've been gifted these goals, you have to take advantage. And if they kept it at 1-0, another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes, maybe the crowd, maybe the Italians get a bit restless. And it came at the worst time. And what an easy goal, because a header from 3 or 4 yards out for a guy who's 6'5", centre-back, you don't usually get these in training. You know, it looked so easy. It looked so easy, and I think that's a disappointing thing. And Silvino will be going home or to the hotel tonight thinking, what could have been? They've got to do better. If they want to have any chance of reaching the next stage in the tournament, this must not happen again.
Yeah. Well, then we're sort of lulled into a false sense of entertainment with a beautifully taken strike by Barella. But yeah, it petered out after that.
This really knocked the stuff now of Albania. It was a fabulous... they'd had a number of chances. It was a fabulous finish. First time, because coming back really quick to him, he catches it so clean. But look at Albania here. How many in a line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a line. And that's, you know, I think safety numbers, everyone back behind the ball, but someone has to get out to the edge of the box. You can't just leave. There's 2 Italians unmarked in the 18-yard box there with 5 to 6 yards of space in front of them. But the finish, top-class strike. The centre half ducks down, doesn't want to get hit in the face, but it was a sweet strike. In slow motion there, it doesn't look as good as it actually was in real time, because it's coming back to him at such pace. He's a top player. He was quite enough in the game, but, you know, when you do things like that, Barella, that's the difference there tonight.
I suppose, you know, the surprising thing is that they didn't sustain a level of performance throughout. I mean, there'll always be lull periods for every team during a 90-minute game, Diddy, but they sustained it for a period during the first half, but really it petered out after that, didn't it?
Well, you've got to score the goals when you are on top, and they've been well on top in the first 45 minutes. And the criticism you can have also in the first half, that they didn't score the third goal, because I think the third goal would have probably finished Albania off. I didn't think they had the belief and the belief and the confidence in themselves to score 2 goals. You can always score 1, 2. Obviously, it's a different matter. It's a different story. And yeah, they had chances in the first half. Hit the post. Keeper made 2 or 3 very good saves. You've got to say. Yeah. And they couldn't score their goal. And second half, they probably just thought, we see the game out. If we get one, great. If not, then we take the 2-1. And in the end, as we saw, they played with fire, but they got away with it.
OK, well, the consensus undoubtedly that this wasn't the greatest match in the world.